Holy Spirit, one God, amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, Holy Spirit, one God, amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, Holy Spirit, one God, amen. Respected priests, deacons of the church, mothers, fathers, brothers and sisters, welcome to this beautiful sunny day outside for our sermon about faith. I'm sure today you guys have been talking about faith a lot, right? And I was actually kind of hurt when he said we have a sermon. I heard the people in the back saying, oh man, I'm about to go up, so I feel like that's a lot of pressure on me to deliver, and kind of to wake you guys up, I have a little brain teaser. For those of you that know me back in DC, this is what I do back when we start class, where I do current events, or a little brain teaser to get your brain juices flowing, right? So, all right, there we go. So, the question is, a bat and a ball cost $1.10 in total. The bat costs $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost? I'll let you marinate on that. So, all right. Show of hands or just shout it out. I'm hearing 5 cents, 10 cents. Do I have any other answers? All right, you got like 20 seconds to think about it. So the ball and the bat, listen to it, in total cost $1.10, right? I'm not going to tell you the answer, but I need you guys to wake up. It's really easy if you read the question. I feel like most of you are thinking way into it, or some of you are not looking into it at all. So, all right, so let me get one answer from this side, one answer from this side. All right, 10 cents. Good. Okay, there is a lot of 5s over here. All right, little dude over there. 10. All right, what is it? What is it like this? All right, give me the answer. Don't dap each other up. Huh? 10, 5? All right. The answer is 5 cents, right? Okay, good. All right, come on, bear with me. So the answer is 5 because, I changed it on my side, yeah. If it's $1 more, then if the ball costs 10 cents, right? For those of you that said 10, and the ball costs $1 more than the bat, that means the bat would cost $1.10. Are you guys with me? All right. So that's just a little brain teaser to get your brain juice flowing. I saw some people working together. So now I feel like I have your attention to go into the lesson today, right? So all the people that were saying, I hope, I'm back on your good side, right? All right. So today we're talking about faith, right? Yes? I have everybody with me, right? Today we're talking about what? Faith. You guys have heard it over and over and over and over. And like, faith is what? Say it again? Believing in something that you can't see, right? And that's why I have this famous movie that, I'm sure everybody has seen. It's believing in something that you see, because in the movie you couldn't see it. But when we talk about faith, right? Come on, let's come back together. When we talk about faith, it also comes with trust, right? Right? I need you guys to nod or something, so I know you get some money, okay? All right, so it comes with a certain level of trust when we talk about faith. So, I think it was last week, for those of you that were in DC, Diakon David, he was talking about trust, right? If I was to come to you, right, and say, hey, here's a water, drink it, trust me, nothing would happen. What are you going to do? Not trust me, right? It's like, why would you say trust me in the first place if you're originally going to trust me, right? So that is kind of what goes along with our faith, because when God tells us, trust me, right? Have faith in me, it's generally because there's hardship coming, right? So when I was telling you, like, yo, trust me, drink this water bottle. Let's say the water bottle is like green or something, but trust me, nothing good will happen. drink this water bottle. I'm telling you, and despite of what this water bottle may look like, I'm asking you to trust me to drink it, correct? That's the same thing that God is asking us to do. Despite of what we may see, what hardship that we may face, trust me, and I'll get you through it. Another example that I love to use is I'm a huge sports fan, right? So where are we? Today is the playoffs. We're in North Carolina. You have no team in the playoffs this year. Hornets, Panthers, Duke, UNC, everything is out. Huh? Hurricane. Well, what sport is it? DC won hockey last year. We're good with that. But somebody name me your favorite basketball player. Steph Curry. Thank you. That's all I want to hear, right? Look. All right, come on, bear with me. Now, if somebody as great as Stephen Curry comes up to you and say, hey, I know what I'm doing. Trust me. We can beat those guys if we do this. Right? Somebody as great as Stephen Curry, multiple MVPs, multiple championships, somebody that great, right? Or even LeBron, for the LeBron fans. Or for soccer watchers, Ronaldo or Messi, whoever they may be, they come to you and they say, trust me. If we do this, we can win this game. You're going to listen to them, right? Yeah. Of course, Ronaldo, Messi, Curry, LeBron. What do I have to doubt your greatness in soccer and basketball? Right? Because they've shown us time and time again, they can get the job done. Again, come back to faith. That's what God is asking us to do. Why are we doubting Him? Are you guys with me? Yeah. So today, the whole day, in the discussions and the sermons, and the poems and everything that we do, we talked about how to have faith, right? And I believe we missed a little part of it, which is, I think there's faith in all of us, right? Everybody has faith within them. The problem is there's things taking away our faith. There's things getting in the way of our faith, right? So that's what I'm going to try to focus on today. Why is it so hard to have faith? And I've simplified it down to 4 things, which is our environment, right? The things that surround us, lack of knowledge, lack of consistency, and fear of leaving our whole life behind. Are you guys with me? So I'm going to go through them one by one, and hopefully I can get through the message across to you guys, right? So I hear a lot of people say, my friends don't have influence on me, or wherever I am, for example, I can perhaps go to a club and not do anything, or, place myself in situations where I shouldn't be in, and still come out, without doing anything, right? Believe it or not, your environment, and when I say environment, I mean your friends, for starters, the places you hang out around, and the things that you put your mind towards. I'm talking about things that you see on your phone, things that you watch, things you listen to. All those things, consider your environment, have a great effect on your faith. Right? If you don't believe me, you tell a little kid about any Bible story. What's the first thing that they do? They're like, wow. I cannot believe Jesus Christ did that. Wow. Or they'll ask you some very detailed question that you have no means of answering. And they're believing, they have faith. They're so happy that to hear everything that they hear about God, about our faith. That faith within them is instilled, and it's not corrupt yet. You see, we start to lose our faith when what happens? You start to grow up, right? You start getting exposed to things. You start hanging out with different people. You start hanging out in different places. That's when your faith takes a hit, because those places have effect, and a direct effect in the type of person you're going to be. Right? In 1 Corinthians 15:33, it reads, "Do not be deceived. Evil company corrupts good habits." Evil company corrupts good habits. I've seen a lot of people fall into their environment, especially, I see a lot of high schoolers right now. You guys are on your way to going to college, right? No. Oh, okay, no, guys. It's a middle schooler. She's on the way to high school, then college. We're going to get to college, okay? But no, you guys are on your way to college, and that's, believe it or not, I think the DC folks, you guys could vouch for me, that's where we lose a lot of people. Because that's when, for the first time, people are experiencing things out in the real world. And that's when a lot of people separate themselves from the church, from their faith. Nothing changed outside of their environment. Because they're exposed to these things, their faith takes a big hit. Question. Who here loves God? If I don't see every hand go up, I should be giving a different Who here loves God? I should see 2 hands, 2 legs up in the air, right? Everybody in here loves God, correct? There you go. This guy's standing up with 2 hands in there. I need that type of energy, right? Now, my next question is, think of your best friend. Do you guys know what show this is? I feel like it's a younger crowd. Thank God. Okay, all right. You guys know what we're talking about, right? So, now, think of your best friend. Your bestest friend. It could be like a friend that you have, your brother, your sister. It could be your mom, dad, uncle, whatever. But someone, everyone in this room has someone they consider their best friend. Think of that person. Are you guys with me? Now, do you know that person's birthday? Yes? Do you know what that person's favorite food is? Do you know how to cheer that person up when they're sad? Basically, you know that person so well in any situation you place with them, like, you know what to do. Correct? So, that's another problem that we have when it comes to God. Everybody showed their hand when I asked you, who here loves God? Right? But I don't think enough of us take the time to get to know the God that we claim we love. Right? How can you say I love someone if we don't love him? God bless you. So if we're let's go back to the best friend thing. Would that, for your best friend, is that really your best friend if you can't cheer them up when they're sad? Is that really your best friend if you don't know their birthday? If you don't know anything about them, can you say, I love that person, that's my best friend? Can you really say that? Can you say, I really love that person as my best friend? You can say you love them, but that's not your best friend, right? That's the same thing with God. A lot of us, we just say, we love God for the sake of loving him. And as Christians, we should love him, correct? Am I wrong? We should love him, but if you're going to love someone, you have to take the time to get to know them. Right? And I'm telling you, bear with me, this goes hand in hand because the more you get to know God, what happens to your faith? That it strengthens, right? The more you get to know God, trust me, your faith for God is not going to go away. If anything, you will love with him, like you will love him more than you originally claimed you do. So, when Hosea 4:6 said, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge because you have rejected knowledge. I will also reject you. If you're choosing not to learn about God, why would he accept us? Are you guys with me? So, again, what are the 2 things we mentioned so far? Environment. Second thing, knowledge of God. So the third thing is consistency. And I'm not going to lie, this is something I struggle with. Consistency, I think, is the biggest hit that especially our generation, the upcoming generation has faced. And I'm not even talking about just spiritual life. I'm talking about in school and relationship and everything, we lack consistency. If you don't believe me, everybody here at the beginning of the semester, how you're aiming for 4.0s. Right? That's it. This semester, nothing is going to stop me. 4.0s. 2-3 weeks in, okay, 3.5. 3.5, I'm good with. And the standards get lower and lower because we procrastinate, we feel like we have time when we don't, we have poor time management. All those things go hand in hand, and we lack consistency. And the biggest thing that I've seen people fall for when it comes to consistency is they feel like once they disappear from the church, they can't come back. Once they feel like they've lost faith, they feel like there's no way back. And one of my students, I think he was like 10 or 11 years old, he gave me an amazing analogy about the connection that we have with God. You guys know chains, right? Like chains, like that that go together in links. So to get a chain longer, what do? You add links, right? So he said, we never really lose the connection to God, right? He said, if I'm holding one end, and then God is holding the other end, if I'm really doing really good in my spiritual life, the link is only one. As in, God and I are very close. Are you guys with me? But as we get further and further away from Christ, the only thing that happens is the chains, it gets longer and longer and longer. But guess what? That connection is still there. You see, God is still holding on to his end, and we can also grab our end. The connection will forever be there. It's just a matter of working towards that too. Right? And I say consistency as, I'm going to give you two examples. These are self-experiences. So, you guys see where it says LA Fitness Legend? Yeah. That's me, right? I consider myself to be a LA Fitness Legend because of consistency. Let me tell you why. When I was 15 years old, or 14, 15, when I was in the 9th grade, my dad, he said, you know what, you're becoming a man, let you join a gym. I was like, bet. I'm going to join a gym, I'm going to get big and strong, and and the gym just happens to have a basketball court. So every day, I didn't know anything about fitness. I thought if you just do this, everything else would get bigger. Every day, I went to the gym, I did curls, and then I would start to play basketball. I didn't know how to play basketball at the time, so they wouldn't let me play. I was very sad point in my life. But what I used to do was, every time they play, I take the ball, just dribble a little bit, just shoot. Dribble a little bit every day. I would just go in there, just shoot. Every time they go down, I pick up the ball, I shoot. I pick up the ball, I shoot. I never got to play any games. I kept shooting. Months went by. And I don't even bother to ask to play because I know I'm bad and they know that I'm bad. So one day, there were 10 people in the gym. You know what that means, right? That means to run 5-on-5, they need me. So they need me to play the game, so they were like, all right, I guess y'all can keep him and we run 5-on-5. I shot lights out that game. I didn't dribble, I didn't play defense, but every time they gave me the ball, I shot, and I think I hit 3 twos or 3 3-pointers because it's, and I thought that's it. I might as well start my pro career right now and declare myself in the draft. That's the thing with consistency. Even, I didn't even mean to, for me it was just a recreation thing that I did. I like basketball, let me just shoot good. If you work on something hard enough, it will become something that you're good at. I told you I was going to give you 2 examples. The second example was my first time I ever attended Tabot when it came out in Mariam in DC. For those of you that know Mariam in DC, Tabot, if it comes out there, it is very hectic. It is hot, people are pushing you, and you just cannot wait to leave. That's how it was my first experience. I'm being very straightforward with you. I was I was around them, and I got tossed around like I was nothing. That's how people are. A couple years went by, and I'm comparing because I've grown since. I was coming to church a lot more, and that time consistency. If you're consistent with your faith, and I'm not saying you gotta it's not something you have to do every day. Just have a conscience, give a conscious effort to say, today I will do something. Today I will do something that will help me take that next step forward. And if you fall back, just get right back up. Your faith will be strengthened. The whole point, what I'm trying to tell you guys today, the faith is within you. That seed was planted within you during baptism. So there's nothing wrong with the seed, right? It's the soil, it's our flesh that's kind of messed up. And we dictate whether that seed grows or whether that seed dies. And the very last thing was trust and faith. We've got to be ready to leave our old life behind. Right? And when I say that, it means that the perfect example is the story of Abraham. He was told to get, it said, the Lord said to Abraham, go from your country, your people, your father's household, and the land I will show you. And that was the command he was given. That was the command he followed. And that verse right there is telling us to leave our old life behind. Because you can't double dip when it comes to your spiritual life, right? You can't have one foot in the door in the life you want to leave behind, and then have one foot in the door in the life that you want to live. Are you guys with me? Yeah. So what are the things that we talked about? So what are the 4 things? Environment, knowledge, consistency, and starting a new life, which is trust and faith. That was a very small way of telling you guys this, but I feel like if you actually, and also before I go, another thing that I feel like a lot of us lack is taking the time out of our day to do just some basic self-reflection. There's time for prayer, right? There's time to go to school, go to work, and all that, but we never have the time to actually sit down. Are you guys with me? Sit down and realize the actions we take. Really sit down and say, what did I do today that helped me get closer towards my goal to the family? And you should start doing that with your spiritual life, academics, social, and all that. But coming back to faith, keep in mind your environment. Keep in mind the knowledge you have of the God you claim you love, right? Keep in mind that consistency is actually key. It's not just something that people throw around. And do not be afraid to start a new life and leave your old life behind. That's my example.